Hey, welcome back. It's Miss Brandy again, and this is your spring art kit video. All right, so you should have your spring art kit box with you that was given to you by your teacher. You may be doing this at home or you may be doing it at school. Either way, we're gonna have a lot of fun, okay? Real quickly, before we open up our box, I just want to say that I've had a ton of fun with you this year. Doing all of our projects has just been so much fun. All right, so I hope that you enjoy what you're going to make with this box just as much as you've done with the other ones. By the way, how did you do on your basket? Did you finish it? I hope so. I wonder what you're keeping inside of your basket. Candy, art supplies, maybe change, pennies, quarters, dimes that you found or were given to you, maybe. Why don't you let me know what you keep inside of the basket that you made? Or did you give it as a gift? Because that would have been really nice too. Speaking of gifts, this week is Teacher Appreciation Week, or at least it was last week, this week, whenever you're watching this. So if you haven't already, be sure to tell your teachers that you are really thankful for them, okay? Teachers do so much to improve our lives, don't they? Yeah. They teach us all kinds of cool, interesting things. They're there for us when we need them. They help us a lot, don't they? I can remember almost every single teacher I ever had, and each one of them made me a little bit better than I was before I met them. So be sure to tell your teachers and principals, thank you. All right, and to all you teachers out there, if you're watching, I really want to thank you for what you do for our children. Okay, as a mom myself, I know the important role that you play in children's lives. So thank you very much. All right, so why don't we get to having fun and open up our box and see what's inside. You may have already opened yours and that's okay, but we're going to do it together, okay? All right, 1, 2, 3, woo! All right, so look at all that. What is this funny looking thing? You may have seen one of these before, but this is called a squeegee. Isn't that a fun word? Squeegee. Squeegee. So you normally would use these to clean like windows and things, but today we're going to use it to paint. That's right. So keep that aside for now. You're also going to have a little Ziploc baggie, or I guess zipper baggie as you would call it, with crayons. You'll have red and yellow and orange and pink. You're also going to have a black marker. You're also going to have 4 tubes of paint. Now mine are dark red, bright red, yellow, and this kind of tan color called ochre. You're probably going to have different colors. You may have the same colors as me, but you might have different colors too. I tried to make sure everybody's was a little different. So your artwork is different from everybody else's, okay? Now, this is acrylic paint. We've used these before in some of our other kits. So remember, if it gets on your clothing or a tablecloth or carpet, anything fabric, it's not gonna come out, all right? So we do have an apron. We do have an apron in our box, so be sure to put that on when we start this project, okay? And when you do it, be very careful, okay? Just be very careful. All right. And then you're also gonna have some Skittles because it's springtime and all the rain and the flowers and the rainbows. Hopefully you've seen some rainbows this spring, but just a little treat from me to you, okay? And then you're gonna have a white rectangle. That's kind of hard. This is a canvas. You may know that by now. And then you're also going to have 3 more white rectangular pieces of paper, okay? Kind of hard to see on there, isn't it? All right, that's 1, 2, and 3. All right, hopefully you got 3. All right, and if for some reason you don't have 3, well, lots of paper around, please go find some, okay? Because you don't want to miss out on that project and how you want to have all 3 of your pieces of paper. All right, are you ready to get started on our first project? Great, me too. Let's get started. Alrighty, for our first project, you are going to need your squeegee, your 4 paints, your apron, and your canvas. That's the hard one. And then I've put down some paper towels that are a little bigger than my canvas. And then I also have one more paper towel so I can set my squeegee down on it after I've used it, okay? Before I wash it off, all right? Because I don't want to get paint on anything. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is put on my apron. What are we gonna do with that? We're gonna throw it away. All right, I'm gonna open it up. And just like always, this one's probably gonna be a little small for me, but it should be the right size for you. But I don't wanna get paint on my clothes and I can be a little clumsy, so I'm gonna wear mine. All right, now mine's more like a bib on me, but at least I can protect my shirt. Okay. Okie dokie, now that we've gotten that out of the way, if you want to take your little tag off of your squeegee, that's fine. You just pop that right off, and then what do we do with that? We throw it away. Okay. All right, so this is a really cool painting technique, okay? It's gonna be very quick. This project does not take long at all, but in the end, you'll have a piece of artwork that looks really cool, I promise. All right, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is turn my canvas over to the shiny side. You have a rough side, and then you have a smooth side that's a little shiny. All right, and I'm gonna write my name on the back of this. And if you're doing this at home, you may not have to do it, but if you're doing it at school with lots of other kids, it might be helpful to do this now so that way everybody knows whose artwork belongs to who, okay? So I am going to put my name on it just like that, Miss Brandy. Okay, you can use your black marker that you have in your kit for that. All right, now I'm gonna turn it back over so the rough side is up, and I'm gonna turn my canvas this way, all right? Because I'm gonna want to work down like this. All right, so it's really very simple. You are just going to start opening up your paints. You can start with whatever color you want, okay? These are very easy to use paints, okay? And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put a dot of paint on my canvas, just like that. And you can make little dots or big dots, like I'm gonna put a big dot right there. You can also make little squiggly lines. You see? They don't have to be perfect. Just have fun with this. Just squeeze it on there. Okay. This is that ochre color. You'll see it's like a dark yellow, almost like that mustard, that not the kind that you usually put on hot dogs, but like what them grown-ups eat. That weird mustard. Speaking of mustard, I do have a very bright yellow that is like mustard. And I'm gonna start putting dots of that on here too. And you just put them wherever you want. That's what's fun. And then I think down here, I'm gonna put a line just like that. You do it however you want. Then I'm gonna take my next color, which I have crimson here, which is a beautiful dark red color. And I'm gonna make sure that I also go all the way up to the top of my canvas. You don't necessarily have to cover everything that's closest to you at the bottom, but you do want to make sure you have lots of paint up here at the top. And then I might make a little pattern like a dot, dot, dot. Okay, so I'm just kind of playing around with this right now. I've never made one just like this. That's the cool thing about it is when you have the tools you need, the paint, the squeegee, the canvas, you can do it however you like and you'll get a different result every single time. Okay, and then I'm going to take my brighter red and I think I'm going to do those little dots again like I did down here. Just going across like that. And then maybe another one right here. Now some of these paints, you may have to put the lid back on it and kind of squeeze it around a little bit because you'll see that it has kind of a watery type stuff in it. It just needs to be mixed up a little bit. So you can just squeeze it, just make sure you have the lid on tight and just kind of squeeze it all around. And that'll help kind of mix it back up. And it'll squeeze out better when you do that. There we go. Another one right there. Right there. I want a big one right there. All right. I think I'll make a line right here. Okay. Looks kind of cool just like that, doesn't it? All right, and then once you use all of your colors, if you want to go back in and do more, feel free to. Have fun with it, okay? Let's see, actually, I think that I will go up here and put more dots, just like this. Across the top. Okay. All right. I feel pretty confident about what I have. Like I said, you want to make sure that the top has the most paint, because what you're going to do is put your squeegee down and drag it down. So everything from the top is going to get dragged down, but because you're not going to the top, none of this is going up there, okay? All right, and you'll see what I mean in just a second. Okay, so when you're done putting all of your paint on there, you're going to take your squeegee, and you'll see it's a little bit wider than the canvas. It's a little bit bigger. You're going to put it at the top of the canvas. You're going to kind of hold. You're going to kind of, whoop, I put my finger right in the paint. Goodness, Miss Brandy. See, I told you I'm clumsy. All right, see, I'm just putting my finger down here at the bottom. All right, just to kind of hold it in place. But you're going to put your squeegee down. You're going to press down a little. And then you're going to drag it down. And then you can kind of switch your hands and hold it up here. Keep on dragging. All right, now this is where it's tricky, okay? You're gonna have a lot of paint on the end of your squeegee. Now, you could put that paint onto a plate or a paint palette or something and have fun using it on something else, okay? But we're not going to put it back down on this, all right? So that's why I have my paper towel here. See, I have my paper towel. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of lay this down on here like this. And I'm gonna scoot it out of the way. Now, doesn't that look so cool? I think it does. And the cool thing about this too is that it's gonna dry really quickly, okay? It's not gonna stay wet for very long, but look at that. Wasn't that easy? And you're gonna get a really cool effect every single time. The cool thing about this too is that you can do this on paper, like the heavier paper that we're gonna use in our next project. And you can make cards out of it or coloring pages out of it. You can take the paper, paint it like this, and then cut it up into different shapes and then glue them to make other pictures, kind of like how Eric Carle, the famous author and illustrator, does his books, right? Another thing you can do, I'm not going to do it here, but another thing you can do is take your paint, and you notice how it was real like thick and it kind of stood up. You can take the colors of paint and you can squeeze it down and make these little dollops and then leave it like that. And when it dries, you'll have what's called texture to your painting, or, you know, bumps on it that you can feel. But I'm not going to do that with mine. I like it just how it is. And I'm going to call my piece of artwork the messy hot dog, because that's what it reminds me of. Ketchup and mustard. So, ta-da, there you go. I want to know what yours looks like. If you don't mind, send me pictures of what you did. I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to put our Facebook information at the end of the video, and I'd really, really love it if y'all can send me pictures of what you did, okay? All right, are you ready to do your next project? Me too. Let's do it. All right, for our next project, you're actually going to make 3 pieces of art, and you're going to use your hands to make some really cool shapes of animals. We're going to make a zebra, a chicken, and a flamingo, okay? So you know how you've probably traced your hand on a piece of paper before and made like a turkey or something like that. Same kind of thing. We're just going to be using some really interesting hand shapes to make these animals, okay? So you'll need your 3 pieces of paper, your crayons, and your marker. And it's going to be very fun and very easy for you to do, okay? All right, so I don't need all 3 of my pieces of paper for this first one. I just need 1 of my pieces of paper, okay? So the first thing you're going to do, it's so easy. We're going to make our zebra first, okay? You are going to put your paper in front of you long ways like this. And you're going to put your hand like this, okay? So all of my fingers are together. My thumb is sticking out. And my arm is in the middle of the paper. And my fingers are kind of pointing towards this corner right here, okay? With my thumb facing the top of the paper. So just take a second to get your hand into that position. And when you're ready, you're going to take your marker and you're going to start down here at the bottom of the paper where your arm is. And you can just you're just going to hug the marker up against your hand like this. Okay, I'm going to put mine back down into position just like that. And then we're going to just follow our hand slowly around. Now, when you get to your fingers, I don't want the humps from each one of our fingers. I just want to make a more rounded shape, okay? And then I'm going to come back down to where my pinky is, and then I'm going to start hugging the marker up against my skin again. And then just come down. Just like that. Looks like a oven mitt or something. It doesn't quite look like a zebra, does it? Trust me, it will in just a moment, okay? All right, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is create like a little nose for him. So I'm just gonna make this kind of rounded line, just like that. Just like that. Kind of like the toe line on a sock. It's kind of just a rounded line, curved line. And then I'm gonna draw him a little eye. I'm gonna make a circle right about there. And I'm gonna start coloring it in, but I'm gonna leave a little spot of white in the middle, a little white circle. You don't have to do that, but it helps it to look like he's got shiny, bright eyes. You can color the whole thing in if you want to though. And then this is going to be one ear, but he needs two ears, doesn't he? So what I'm gonna do is just over here towards the top of where my thumb was, I'm going to make kind of a curved shape over like that, and then come down to where my thumb and my hand meet and make that little curve. So you see, just like that. Okay. Then I'm going to give his ears a little bit of a shape like this. So it makes his ears look a little bit more like ears. So I've just kind of made these lines that go up to the corner and back down a little ways. Doesn't have to be all the way. And then over here, just up and down a little ways. Again, you don't have to do that part. I just like to do it. Okay, and then for his nostrils on his nose, I'm going to make this kind of backwards C shape. So think of a C, but backwards, or if you turn the paper upside down, you'll see that it makes a C. Okay, and there's his nostrils. Next, we're going to give him his beautiful mane, or all that hair, that long hair that horses and zebras and donkeys have. So I'm just going to start my marker at the line down here at this corner, and I'm just going to go up and out. I'm just going to keep doing that. Just make different lines. See, so he's got a little tuft of hair. And then I'm going to come out here and I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm going to make longer lines as I come down. The further down his neck, the longer the lines. Okay, so I kind of have that. I'm going to go in there and make even more of them. He's got lots of hair. I know I'm moving fast, but you always want to start at this line right here and go out. You can make short ones and long ones, and that really helps it make it look like real hair. All right. You see, he's got hair now. All right. What else are zebras known to have? Is it stripes? Yep, it's stripes. So we got to give our zebra stripes, don't we? That's so simple. What you're going to do is take your marker and connect to this line over here and just come across just like that. And then go down a little ways and do the same thing, but then make them meet up. So you've made what shape now? A triangle. That's right. And then you just color it in. Yep, that easy. That's one stripe on your zebra. See? And then I'm going to do one in this direction too. And this time I'm going to make it a little thinner, a little smaller. Okay, Then I might come over here and do a big triangle with a little triangle inside of it. See that? Color that in. Now you make your stripes however you want to make them. This is your zebra. And every zebra's stripes are completely its own. No two zebras have the same stripes. Just like no two children are the same. You're all very special. Very special indeed. And then this one I might kind of curve up a little bit. You can think of your personality as your zebra stripes. Nobody else has a personality just like you. And that makes you extremely special. There will never be another kid like you. Never has been, never will be. Nope. All right, and then I think I'll give him one kind of around his eye right here. Very small one. Bring my paper down right there so you can see it more. And then I'll bring one up like this. Maybe one down like this. So you know, zebra stripes are also how they camouflage or how they blend in with their surroundings, so bigger animals that want to hunt them don't see them. And you're probably thinking, what? But they're black and white and they live in the grass. How do they blend in? Well, that's because their predators most likely don't see color anyway. So their stripes help them to blend in with the striping of the grass. Isn't that cool? So, all right, I'm just going to add him a little bit more hair in there just because I want to. No reason other than that. You can give him as much hair as you want to. All right, and I'm just going to take my marker and kind of follow the outline that we made just to make it stand out a little bit more. Make a nice bold line. You do not have to do this. This is something that I just want to do. You can do it if you want to. All right, and voila, now you have your zebra made from your handprint. Remember, we started off like this. That's right. And now we have that. So once you've drawn your zebra, then you can come in with your crayons. And I'm going to keep it really simple. And all I'm really going to color is his nose and maybe put a little bit of color right here. And for both of those, I'm going to use pink, but you can use whatever color out of your crayons that you want to. Okay, so I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to color his little nose from this line to the end with pink. Yep, I love coloring. A lot of times when I'm bored at home, it's raining outside, can't go play outside, can't go play in my garden, I'll just color. I like to color with my children. And it's okay if you get outside of the lines a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. It'll be okay. So you see, I've just colored his little nose. And then I'm going to come in here and just kind of color the inside of his ear just a little bit. I'm not going to color the whole thing in, but you do it however you want to. And there we go. We've got our zebra. All right, next is going to be our flamingo. Now this one is a little trickier, but you can do it, I promise. We're going to get another sheet of paper, and again, we're going to put it long ways in front of us. We're going to get our marker out again, Now you may want to go wash your hand and get that black marker off of there because it might smudge on the paper. And if it does, it's no big deal. You can always just turn it over and use the other side after you go wash your hands. So mine might get smudged up right now because I haven't washed my hands, but you get the idea. All right. So like I said, this one's a little bit trickier, but you can totally do it. You're going to do your hands like this. And then you're going to tuck your arm down like this and then put it on your paper. Okay. It's kind of hard. So if you need help, be sure to ask a grown-up. Okay. But I'm going to do the same thing. Just make sure your arm stays down like this and don't move it while you're doing this. Start down here and just hug my hand all the way around. Ta-da! That's my shape. I wonder what yours looks like. Now again, this doesn't quite look like a flamingo, just like our zebra didn't look like a zebra at first. But we're going to make very simple shapes to make it look like a flamingo. And one of the first ways I'm going to do that is by making him have a little bit longer and sharper beak, okay? So I'm just going to take this line and I'm just going to bring it straight down, just like that. And then I'm going to come over here and do the same thing on this side. And then I'm going to make them meet, just like that. You see that? So I've just kind of given him a little bit sharper of a beak. And now I'm going to, at the very corner of this right here, I'm just going to draw a line straight up through the middle, just like that. But I'm not going to touch that line with it. I'm going to leave a little bit of space. Very good. Then, now this is a little bit tricky, so I don't blame you if you need to ask a grown-up for help. But you're going to come to about right here, somewhere in there, somewhere on this little hump right here. And you're going to make a little curved line. And then you're going to come up and make this kind of long, rounded line. And then come down. So you see, it's kind of almost like, you know, on puzzle pieces, they have the pieces with the little nubs that fit together. That's kind of what it looks like. So just take your time with that shape. Okay. And when you're done with that, I'm going to give him his little eye. So I'm going to make a kind of rounded shape. Well, a shape like a bean, really. It looks like a bean more than a circle. You see? Is it starting to look like a flamingo to you? And then we're going to make another kind of curved line in there. So I kind of closed off this area right here. And so that's his white part of his eye and the black part of his eye. And then we're going to color all of this part in, okay? I'll color all of this in with black. Just take your time. Don't rush. If your marker starts looking a little dry and isn't wanting to color very well, don't worry. Just turn it over and use the other side. And it'll work just fine. Just gonna smooth it out with my marker a little bit. That way you get a little bit more of a beak shape. So you see? Now you have a flamingo, and all that's left to do is color it. And what color are flamingos? That's right, we're going to use our pink again. I promise we're going to use these other colors in just a moment. I promise. So I'm going to color my flamingo pink, and you can do the same. And I will see you back here in a second. I'm going to go into super speed mode, okay? Whew, that was a lot of coloring. My goodness. All right, so we got something like that, don't we? A pink flamingo. Remember, we started off like this. Let's see, how can we do this? Boop. And now we have a flamingo. All right, I think I'm going to color in the beak just a tiny bit with pink, and maybe also a little bit yellow. You can do this however you want, and maybe a little bit orange too. So I'm just kind of layering colors in here. Just a little bit. See, just like that. I kind of blended the pink and the yellow and the orange together, which is something I really like to do with crayons, is kind of blend them. Alrighty, good job on that one. You got your very own flamingo drawing and your very own zebra drawing. That's right. Those are going to look so cute. You could put them in frames and hang them up on your wall, right? And so last is going to be our chicken. And this time we're going to keep our page like this. So we've had the other ones like this. We're going to turn this one like this, okay? And this time we're going to do a shape that's like a thumbs up. Yeah. And we're just going to put it on our paper just like that. You can kind of point your thumb a little bit more up so it's pointing towards that corner, okay? All right, I'm going to get my marker out. Okay, I'm going to point my thumb. I'm going to curl up my hand, make a fist, but with my thumb stuck out. I'm going to lay that down on the paper. No, I'm sorry. You're going to kind of turn your hand. You're going to turn it so that your thumb is pointing towards the corner and all of your other knuckles are kind of pointing towards the other corner. You see that? Now this time I'm not going to use my arm down here. So you're going to have to trace the top of your hand and then lift up and then kind of come around and connect the lines on the bottom. Okay. So don't trace around your arm on this one. So what I'm going to do is kind of start right here at the bottom of my thumb where my hand and my arm meet. That's called the wrist. Okay, so start at your wrist, come around your thumb, and then come around your fingers, your knuckles. I should have taken my ring off. I hope I don't have a crazy looking hump there, but I'm sure we can fix it. And then you're going to stop at the other side of your wrist right here. So you started over here and you're going to stop right here and then you're going to lift up. Okay. So then you're just going to take your marker and make kind of a rounded shape, just like that. You're going to connect it with a rounded shape. So just like on the zebra, I'm going to come in with my marker and I'm just going to follow the line we made, make it a little darker. Okay, just like that. Yeah. Thumbs up. Good job. All right. So to make it a chicken, chickens have to have what? Lots of things. We got to have feet. We got to have wings. We got to have tail feathers. We got to have a beak. And we also have to have that little red thing on the top of their head that's called a comb. A comb. That's right. So first I'm going to start with the feet because that's really, really easy. Okay. I'm going to make 2 lines down here at the bottom. Just 2 simple little lines. And then at the bottom of those lines, I'm going to make 3 lines. One going that way, one going that way, and one going that way. Easy peasy. And then the same thing over here. That way, and that way. Just like that. Very, very simple. Then we're going to make our beak, which is another really easy thing to do. We're going to come, this is going to be its neck and its head right here where your thumb was. So we're going to start at the top right here and make a line that kind of points down. And then another one right here that comes and connects to it, making a point. Now you have a beak, and you're just going to draw a line straight down the middle, just like that. Then we have to give them an eye, which is just a simple little circle, just like that. Now it's starting to look a little bit more like a chicken, isn't it? Now we're going to make her comb, which we're just going to make this bumpy little shape on top of her head, just like that. It's just a bumpy little shape. Okay. Next is going to be the tail feathers. We're going to keep this one real simple, okay? Right here where her little bum would be, we're going to make a long shape that loops around and comes back to the same spot that we started. And then we're going to follow that line over here and come over here and do the same thing. Come back around where you started. Kind of like you're making flower petals if you know how to do that. And then one more down here, going the other way and come right back where you started. Okay, now we got your tail feathers. Shake your tail feathers. All right, now we got to give her wings because them chickens love to flap their wings, don't they? And this part is going to be the trickiest part, but you can do it, I promise. All right, so you see this first little hump right here? This one right here. We're going to use that as a starting point for our wing. Okay, this is going to be the top of her wing. So we're just going to come right here and we're going to make a pointed shape. Just like that. Just come off and go whoop, whoop. And then we're going to come down here and do another one. And then you're just going to kind of keep doing that. You can kind of change which way the points face, but this is the idea of what you're going to be doing. And then you're just going to wrap it up like that, right at the base of her neck. Now you've got one wing. See? Real easy. But if you need a grown-up to help you, that's okay. Then to make the other wing, we're going to go up here with a curved line. And we're going to make some more of those little pointy parts, just like that. And you're going to make sure you stop right there on this line where your knuckles were. You see? This line right here, this one that curves around and then makes your little humps, was from your first drawing with your hand. And we've just used the tops of our knuckles right here to create parts of the wings. Now you got your very own chicken. Very good. Were you able to do that all by yourself, or did you need a grown-up's help? It's okay either way. Now, you don't have to do this, but you can. You can come in here and kind of decorate her tail feathers before we start coloring. with some more kind of rounded shapes, just like that. Just kind of curve up and down, up and down. We're going to do that on each one. Up and down, up and down. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. All right, so now you are ready to color your chicken. So now we're going to use some of our other colors that we had. We're definitely going to use the red, orange, and yellow. All right. So first things first, most chickens have a red comb. So I'm going to color her comb red. All right. So I've just kind of colored her head and neck yellow. Okay. I've started up here. I've got her beak is orange. Her little comb is red, and I've colored her head and her neck yellow, and I've kind of created this curved shape right here for the yellow. You color this however you want to though, okay? Then I'm gonna come in here with my orange, and I'm not gonna color her wing right now. I'm just coloring her body, okay? And I'm just going to meet the orange with the yellow. Yep, just like that. I'm gonna try to follow a little curve of her belly here. Kind of come under her wing, not on her wing, but what's underneath her wing. And again, I'm just like I did with the yellow, I'm going to kind of create a curved shape. With the crayon. So now we have that. And then I'm going to take my red and I'm going to color her little chicken bum right there. I'm going to start over here. I'm going to make sure, so this is her wing, right? But what's underneath it is part of her body. So I'm going to color that part red, but I'm going to be real careful not to color her wing red because I don't want it red. But you do it however you want to do it. It's your chicken. Just like I always say, it's your art. You do it how you want to. I'm just here to kind of guide you through this and show you how to get started. Okay, so I've got this very colorful chicken here, and I'm going to color this first set of curved shapes on her tail feathers red. All right, and then I'm going to color the next ones orange. She's a very bright, colorful chicken, isn't she? All right, and then I'm going to color the very top ones yellow. So we kind of did the opposite of what we did on her body. You can hear the cars outside, and I can hear somebody mowing grass. What do you hear outside right now? I wish I could hear a chicken clucking. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? So there we go. That's what I got. So now we're going to color her wings. Now you can choose any of these colors, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start kind of from the top of the wing and color yellow. But then I'm not going to go all the way to the tips of her wings. I'm just going to kind of leave those white. And I'm pressing real hard with my crayon up here at the top of the wing, but then I'm kind of easing up and going lighter as I go down. So it gets to be like a lighter yellow. It might be hard for you to see on there, but so I left the very tips of her feathers white, but I made it darker yellow right here and lighter yellow all through here. I'm going to do the same thing on this wing. I'm going to start very dark right here. And then I'm going to kind of ease up and get lighter and lighter as I reach the tips of her wings. This is called an ombre effect, when something goes from dark to light. So if you've noticed before that colors are darker with crayons whenever you press real hard, and then they're very light when you don't press very hard at all. Excuse me. Okay, I'm all done with my chicken. What's yours looking like? I really hope you send me pictures, especially of all your animals. Now you can go into the background of these and color other shapes that you might know, like flowers or clouds or grass, or you can just leave them just how they are. It's your artwork. You can do what you want with it, right? But we have our zebra, our flamingo, and our chicken. Aren't those fun? And you did them all using your hands. So what we have, zebra, flamingo, and chicken. All right, you did such a great job. Thank you for following along with me. All right. Well, I hope that you have had as much fun as I've had making our 3 animals and our scraper squeegee painting. Look how cool that is. Look what you did. Look what I did. We did it together, didn't we? Yep. And I just want to take a moment to say that I've had so much fun with you this year, from our watercolor landscape and scratch art to our Mardi Gras bags and baskets that we wove to this month's project. I've just had a lot of fun, and I hope that you have too, and I hope that you've learned a little bit from all of the different art techniques that we've used. Maybe some history lesson from our Mardi Gras video. And I just want to say thank you for following along with me. I know some of these things might be a little bit tricky for you, and I understand that sometimes you just need help with that. I wish that I could be there to help you myself. I sure do. I wish that I could meet every single one of you. But in case I never do, and in case you go off to kindergarten next year and I don't get to see you again, I hope that you have a wonderful kindergarten year, and then 1st grade and 2nd grade and so on and so forth, okay? But I just want you to know that each and every one of you are very special to me, and I'm so glad that I'm able to do these for you. All righty, well, have a good summer and take care. Bye-bye.